2, 3, 4, 5.
We stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome to Sparks, Maryland, Tierney Field at U.S. Lacrosse headquarters for the 2023 Fall Classic. Hello, everyone. I'm Monica Moore alongside Kenny Dijon from U.S. Lacrosse. And Kenny, we got to see some of the teams play last night. We saw a bit of Canada's U20 roster. Today, we're going to get our first look at Northwestern. I know you cover women's lacrosse. You covered this Northwestern team. They were so special last year, and they returned so much this year.
When you talk about Northwestern and you say, oh, what is Northwestern good at? It's what aren't they good at? And a lot of people will look to that offense. They have a Tewaaraton Award winner in Izzy Skane. They have a finalist in Erin Kuykendall. But what also they do is their transition game is up there, second to none. And what I love about the way they play is their ride. They will miss a shot and then seemingly get the ball back and score right away because they're just so tenacious on that ride.
And you see there Scott Hiller coaching today for Northwestern with all that talent around him. And then meanwhile, let's talk about Canada. I thought they got off to a great start. Now, one thing we will mention is there's a bit of a split roster. There are some athletes we saw yesterday we will not see in the event today, but they got off to a great start. They were so efficient on offense. Draw controls were a little bit of a question mark for them yesterday, so we'll see if they're able to sort that out today. Particularly, you have to expect we're going to see a lot of Sam Smith for Northwestern.
Yes, 23-5 disadvantage on draws yesterday for Canada, but like you said, it's a new day, a new set of players. We'll see who's taking draws and playing the circle for Canada, and maybe they can turn that around.
So back in goal for Canada will be Lauren Spence. We were impressed with her yesterday. We'll see her again today at the start. And for Northwestern, Molly LaLiberty will be in net for the Wildcats. Of course, a lot of people very familiar with her from what she did in the NESCAC at Tufts. Now playing for Northwestern, getting that extra year of eligibility, and I know she has to be really excited. She was with a great D3 program at Tufts that was always a national contender, and now to go to Northwestern.
And what a story for her, an incredible career at Tufts, and then second team All Big Ten last year, just incredible.
So we will head to the draw control circle where so much can be decided in women's lacrosse. It's always one of the most important things that we focus on because winning those early opportunities really can set the tone. And that opening draw taken by Emma Torkoff, who I thought was very good in the second half yesterday, trying to compete against some of the greats for the U.S.'s U20 team. But Northwestern will win the opening draw. Sam Smith picking up right where she left off last season.
She is one of the catalysts of this team. Her and Sammy White working together, at least in the regular season, off that circle and in transition. That's what makes Northwestern go.
She had 121 draw control wins last season. And this is Carly Mahoney with possession. And now Villanova looking up top to Jane Hansen. Hansen trying to create an opening. really drawing the defense, looking to connect up top with Carly Mahoney. And Northwestern will hang on to possession.
And that's that second chance opportunity there where their offense is just so tenacious when the ball's on the ground, they go get it.
But causing the turnover, Alex Law, and showing some really good speed. Clearing the ball up the field, but a little bit mishandling that pass. Looks like Canada will hang on to it, but will give Northwestern a chance to set up their defense. Good pressure, though. Jane Hansen very quickly coming up with it. A little sloppy on the clear. But Natalie Lopez will get the ball into Northwestern's offensive zone.
Clears will be something I'm looking at today as well because, remember, everybody, this is still kind of fall ball. It's October, so teams are getting in the swing of things. Nobody is in peak form. It's going to be the team that is cleanest that probably wins.
And, of course, Northwestern a bit of an advantage in terms of the fact that they play together regularly for this U20 Canada team. These are a lot of players that haven't played together. Some of them haven't ever played together. So high school students representing on the roster, along with some players who competed in college last season. So Canada looking to get their first real offensive possession. Again, we talked about how last night the Canadians were very efficient offensively. This morning so far having a little bit of trouble connecting on their passes. And looking to head to goal. Good defensive pressure, but we're going to get a foul. Whistled and a card awarded. And so we are going to get our first player up situation for Team Canada. So a good opportunity here for the Canadians.
Yellow card issued to Claire Snyder.
So Claire Snyder will pick up the yellow card. We spent a lot of time last night focusing on the fact we are playing with international rules. There's no shot clock. So that is one factor. Canada working inside, and a great finish for Canada. A player up goal for
Team
the
Canada
Canadians.
goal by number 70, Reese Whiteman.
Reese Whiteman taking advantage of the numbers.
It was a great shovel shot there. And one thing I'll note about the Northwestern defense, they are encouraged by their coaching staff to play up and play out and be aggressive, jump into lanes, try to make things happen. The caveat, they've told me this openly, they'll get beat sometimes, but they're comfortable with doing that because their offense can generate so much scoring by itself. They can take some chances on defense.
That's a fun style to watch, too,
So
in terms
much
of being very aggressive defensively, as Emma Torkoff back in the draw control circle. As the rain's starting to pick up, and that's certainly something that we do expect to be a factor. It should rain all day, at least according to the weather report, so that will be something that players will have to contend with. As Canada winning the draw control, Emma Torkoff coming up with a big win there.
Welcome to Maryland in October. 70 and sunny yesterday, 50 and rainy today.
So if you don't feel like you can make the trip over to U.S. Lacrosse headquarters, you can join us all day long. We will be here for all of the action. Nice handoff. Canada looking to push their way inside, but you see Northwestern's just doing a good job keeping them outside of the middle. And again, another misconnection there, but Canada able to hang on to it. But they are getting some good movement, some good cutters coming through.
Teams are in full
And a foul will go against Northwestern as we are back at even strength. And with the international rules, I think the other big component is the running clock.
Yes.
And we talked a lot about that last night. It's very different. And the free position opportunities a little further back as a false start there called on Northwestern. So instead of the regular 8 meters, it's 11 meters. We saw different strategies last night. Sometimes teams looking more for the pass. Sometimes players going straight to goal, and certainly anticipate seeing that again today as La Liberty is fouled.
Liberty might have gotten fouled there and she got chased down, but I love the way she plays goalie. She loves to come out, run for transition a little bit like you saw there. She is unafraid to take risks like most of this Northwestern defense.
Northwestern really trying to push something in transition. They will lose possession, so a little sloppy here in the early goings, but I think to be expected in the fall, and particularly Canada, as we talked about, different players working together, potentially for the first time. Lauren Archer helping to lead the charge up the field for the Wildcats, and you see they're looking to connect in transition. This is a good opportunity, but again, the ball just goes wide, not able to find Leah Holmes.
And for some of these Canadian players, especially the younger ones, I can only imagine what it must feel like to go up against the defending national champions who just ran roughshod through the competition. So I'm sure those nerves, if there are any, will settle down very soon. They just got to get some minutes under their belt.
And meanwhile, for Northwestern, coming off of that really decisive victory in the national championship game, winning 18-6 over Boston College, that's quite a way to end your season. You have so much momentum, and they return so much talent as La Liberty comes up with a big save. I feel like we've just come to expect that from Molly La Liberty.
What a kick save, a thigh save, whatever you want to call it. She got over to that ball very quickly, made the stop.
Great move inside. La Liberty is there again. She's just lights out right now, really standing tall. You're seeing all the experience of Molly La Liberty back in goal.
La Liberty is 5'4". Maybe that's a little generous. I don't know. You can tell me. But she fills up that cage. She gets the balls that you don't expect her to get to.
And you see how quickly the tic-tac-toe passing gets up the field, and the finish for Hannah Johnson.
Hannah Johnson did not play in 2023, so it's great for her in the fall to establish herself and get comfortable.
And again, this almost looks like a drill in terms of working your way up the field, taking your time, getting that perfect placement there, seeing exactly where the goalkeeper was to select the shot that you want, and Hannah Johnson with the finish for Northwestern.
Yeah, the passer drew that double, gave Hannah Johnson just enough time to leak out, and then as she's fading towards goal line extended, she's going right under the goalie's legs.
So Canada going to switch some things up in the draw control circle. Beth Anderson will be taking this draw. And the rain is just pouring down so hard right now. It barely rained at all during warm-ups, and Northwestern easily handling that. Serafina Demuno. And you see how quickly Northwestern looking to press the issue. Kenny, you were talking about how they like to play so aggressively on defense. You certainly see a lot of that in the offense too, not really wanting to sit back and wait and stretch out the defense, but they're just looking to go to goal, a very active style out on the field.
And it can happen at any moment. Canada's 1-0 lead in the blink of an eye could potentially become 7-1, 8-1. That's how quick this Northwestern team works. So for Canada, it's just about focusing on that one stop.
That was a great individual effort for Northwestern. Emerson Boleg finished last season with 5 goals and 8 assists.
One of those goals in the national title game. She actually scored twice against BC last season, so talk about stepping up against the best opponents. Emerson Boleg is capable.
Scorer number 45, Emerson Boleg.
And that's the thing for Northwestern. They just have so much talent. Looking down the roster, top to bottom, players who have a lot of great experience. As we take another look here, this is a player just with a full head of steam going to goal.
Slide came a little bit late. I love how she faded left and still went with that right. Just a great goal.
So once again, Canada switching some things up in the draw control circle, but we get the false start going against Canada. So Northwestern, an opportunity here to try to stretch out their lead.
Canada has to stay disciplined here. Otherwise, like I said, this could get out of hand fast. It's still very early. We're not counting any chickens just yet, but Northwestern can go on a run, so you have to be careful.
And we've seen how efficient they can be in their offensive set when they feel comfortable. Good ball movement, good movement off ball as well. You just see how active everyone is in the offensive set. There is nothing stagnant about it. Good pressure back behind goal by Taya Keast.
Great stop there.
Lauren Spence. We were impressed with her yesterday. She did so well in that competition. The Loyola goalkeeper, one of the top keepers in the nation in terms of leading the scoring defense for Loyola.
Jen Adams speaks so highly of Lauren Spence. She came in and replaced Caitlin Larson, a longtime starter there, and she's just taken it in stride. She's a leader of that defense.
Again, good ball movement, good combination play there as Lucy Monroe gets her first goal of the morning.
A great score for her to get on the board early. She played in 17 games last year, so she has some experience. It's just a matter of now getting those increased reps and increased playing time and being comfortable in a larger role.
Great job drawing the defense, handing off, and a confident shot placement by Lucy Monroe. But now the question for Canada, working to try to win this draw control. It's going to be Sam Smith back in the draw control circle for Northwestern. So we've seen some different faces for the Wildcats as well in the circle.
Fall ball is great for that, just to get a little eye test of different combinations, who plays well with each other off the circle, in transition. And Coach Scott Hiller is definitely going to mess around today and see what works.
Beth Anderson back for Canada. And once again, Sam Smith just doing a good job directing that ball over to Mahoney. Mahoney so quickly up the field, wasting no time. But a nice play by Lauren Spence just to keep things under control.
That pass just came a little too late there. She tried to do a little bit of hesitation and dump it off. Not a bad look, just a little bit too late.
But certainly the thought process was there in terms of what Northwestern trying to do quickly to goal, and a great finish for Taylor Santos.
Full head of steam there. There was nothing but her and the goal, and she knew she was pulling the trigger when she had a good angle, and she definitely took it.
I love the confidence here of Taylor Santos. Just looked like no one was going to be able to stop her. Great speed, great execution. Good high-low shot there.
It almost looked like Northwestern wasn't expecting her to just do the one-woman ride. They thought she might dump it off, and so, like you said, nobody reacted fast enough to close her out.
So Serafina Domino back in the draw control circle for Northwestern. Beth Anderson for Canada. And again, this is the problem that Canada trying to solve, and Beth Anderson so active right there. She knew exactly where the ball was going and was able to get to it quickly. But after you win the draw, you have to keep your composure to make sure you get that good first pass.
And that's a much-needed draw win there. And even if Canada comes up empty this possession, it'd be great for them to have a long opportunity, but here we go with the ball on the turf. So.
It certainly can be a little deflating when you've done all the hard work in the circle to win possession. Quickly to the ball was Megan Malgrave for Northwestern, and look at the speed of the Wildcats coming up the field. Emerson Bolig, but yeah, great check. And Northwestern lucky momentarily to hang on to it. As big battle for possession there. And now Northwestern will settle more into their offensive set with Hannah Johnson over on the right side. Johnson going high for the goal.
What a lefty snipe there. Great dodge, got space, brought it to the middle, got her hands free, and ripped one.
Hannah Johnson has been very impressive in this opening quarter of play. The second goal, and again, you see that shot placement. She knew where Lauren Spence was and was able to place that ball where Spence couldn't get to it.
Most impressive with me there was the explosiveness. She planted that right foot, pivoted off of it, and she was gone.
So Beth Anderson back in the draw control circle for Canada, along with Demuno. And again, Anderson doing a good job with her technique. I think she's trying to put the ball where she wants to get to it, but Northwestern just able to react more quickly. And again, so quick to goal. That shot goes wide, but it is backed up by the Wildcats. Hannah Johnson, nice idea trying to connect with the cutter. Great look inside right, and what a highlight that would have been if Hannah Johnson had been able to do something with it at the conclusion of our first quarter. But Northwestern coming out strong, 4-2 over the Canada U20 team after the first one is in the books. We'll take a quick break and be right back to Tierney Field.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you our future. Our future. Our future. Our future.
Welcome back to U.S. Lacrosse headquarters. After the first quarter, Northwestern looking very strong. And Kenny, I thought they did a good job winning some of the opening draws. And it's that high-octane offense. It's very difficult to contain them.
At the very least, what Canada needs to try to do here, like I said, if they win the draw, not every possession is going to end in a goal, especially against such a good defense. But they have to make this defense work a little bit, tire them out potentially. Just get a good look, and then you can build from there.
It's a good look there at Molly Liberty, who really came up with at least two big saves very early on, I thought, setting the tone for Northwestern. And back in the draw control circle to start our second quarter will be Sam Smith for the Wildcats and Beth Anderson for the Canada U20 team. Both teams having several different players take the draw in our first quarter. Sam Smith, she's so great in the air, just jumping there to win possession for Northwestern.
There's so much that goes into taking the draw. Timing, placement, knowing where the ball is going to go, and Sam Smith just executes perfectly.
But a turnover there. A bit of a break for Canada. Can they protect the ball and get one of those longer, more sustained possessions, Kenny, that you've been talking about? They're going to work the ball back behind the net. Try to test this Northwestern defense. I like the idea coming around the crease, just could not capitalize. It was Elise Fawcett, but Fawcett will get it right back. Good find in the middle, good hesitation, but La Liberty is there off the shot by Zoe Kruger.
A lot of things to like there on that possession by Canada. The first shot attempt was very nice on that wraparound, and then the ride, the second chance. Stick side high in the shot, maybe not the best placement, but love what you see there from Canada.
And an interception, but Fawcett just loses it. It was a good heads-up play, and now Northwestern and Bolig will head the other way. She was one of the standouts in the first quarter for Northwestern. Did very well in terms of creating opportunities. Wildcats looking in the middle and converting easily there, just making it look like clockwork. You're seeing that great chemistry as Claire Snyder converts.
another player like Hannah Johnson. Claire Snyder did not play in 2023. Has experience from 2022, but it's nice to see those two players getting going early on today.
And really give a lot of credit there to Leah Holmes. She did a lot of the hard work behind the goal, really helping to create that, drawing the defense, and then a good finish by Snyder.
And Leah Holmes, her career, it's kind of had ebbs and flows in terms of playing time. Last year, maybe didn't play as much as she has before, but she's a veteran leader. She knows how to play this game, and that was just a great feed by her.
Anderson back in the draw control circle with Serafina Demuno. 3-goal lead for Northwestern fairly early into our second quarter. And Beth Anderson, once again, she did, I think, what she wanted to do in terms of where she directed the ball. And now Canada just very scrappy, able to get possession and going straight to goal, which has been the best method for Canada to capitalize.
And that was excellent recognition. Molly Liberty took a step up to come meet that ball, and the shot just went right around her.
I believe that's Alex Law for Canada. Very opportunistic. Just full head of steam, trying to go to goal before Northwestern can react. And that's a big moment right off the draw control to be able to convert for Alex Law.
And Alex Law, like many of her teammates, a hockey player. She knows how to deal with spacing, in front of the crease. So great job by her.
Demuno back in the draw control circle for Northwestern. She will square off against Emma Torkoff.
Now, can you build on this? That's the key. Can you get a second goal in a row? And look at that, just like that, awarded the draw. This is their chance.
So the false start there called against Northwestern as Torkoff will lead the charge up the field. And so Canada has found a strategy that works in terms of just trying to go straight to goal, trying to beat the defense individually. What we haven't seen is as many team goals from them in terms of players drawing the defense, being able to connect on those passes. So we'll see if they can sort that out as the game progresses. Torkoff drawing some attention there, will hand off. And that's a strong move to goal by Taylor Santos. We saw that out of her earlier, and she was very successful.
And a sign of maturity that some of these teams will develop as they play more of the international style. There is no shot clock. There is no urgency this early to just waste a shot. Work the ball around, draw a double, see if you can get some cutters going, and find that perfect look.
So this is Taylor Santos on the free position opportunity. She's looking for the cutter. It's a great idea. And again, we're going to see a lot of that on the free position opportunities today. Torkoff able to hang on to possession.
Looked like there might have been a stick in the way of that feed there, but it was a very well-placed pass.
So now Canada having to go to work in their settled offense. Again, another great cut. Just that's where Canada has struggled a bit, is connecting on those passes. The vision is there. The idea is there. Claire Snyder coming up with it for the Wildcats.
And I think at the very least, that's something Alison Daly, head coach of Canada, will be able to take away. Again, still too early to decide who's going to win, but the idea and the intent is correct. It's just executing, and those are things you can work on.
So a turnover there for Northwestern.
Not quite sure what happened there. It looked like she kind of just flicked it to the end line, and nobody was standing there.
So a little bit of a miscue there for the Wildcats. And now Canada, can they take advantage off the turnover? Great pressure. You were talking about this earlier, Kenny, in terms of the ride, trying to force these turnovers in the open field, and you see how active Northwestern is. Torkoff, though, doing a good job getting the ball up the field for Canada.
I know we haven't seen Izzy Skane yet in this game. I'm assuming she will be playing in the next one against the US U20 team, but people look at her as a pure goal scorer. Don't even focus on her shooting. Watch her ride. She sets the tone for the rest of this team, and they all follow suit.
And that's one thing that coaches really look for, is that shot goes over top of the net, is those players who really put in the work on the ride, those little things that don't always show up in the box score. But when you pressure teams into going a little more quickly on their clear, you force those turnovers. That is such a huge thing, and it just shows you a player's want to, how much they commit and are able to contribute all over the field. Good opportunity. La Liberty, I think, got a piece of it. And we'll head the other way with Bolig.
And that looked like a little slap shot action there by Reese Whiteman on that second chance opportunity, but just hit post, or La Liberty got a piece of it maybe too. And there's a goal on the other end.
Again, great passing by Northwestern. It's Hannah Johnson again. That all starts with Bullock getting the ball up the field quickly. An unsettled situation. You see there, it starts with the save by La Liberty. Bullock comes up with it. You see the great speed and skill of Bullock.
Hannah Johnson had 25 points in her last active season in 2022. And if she just becomes another weapon for this Northwestern team that added two incredible transfers, has most of their firepower back, just an embarrassment of riches on this team.
And what about Lucy Monroe? I don't know if she slipped on the turf. The rain has let up just a little bit, but she's still able to execute on that pass and find Hannah Johnson. As again, we're going to get another false start against Northwestern. Bit of a break for Canada.
One of the beauties about being on the best team in Division I women's lacrosse is practicing against the best Division I team in women's lacrosse. So none of these players are fazed by incredible international competition. They practice like this every day.
Well, that's right. They play against fantastic scout teams that do a good job of simulating what other teams do. And as you mentioned, the level of competition is just so high in these practices. You have to bring your A game every single day.
Especially when it comes to earning playing time, and Coach Amante Hiller is going to give the best players time. So if you show it in practice against your talented teammates, you're going to get a look.
Reese Whiteman really standing tall for Canada. She has been outstanding in the opening half of this game, finding her moments and capitalizing.
What a great job there, just taking that little fake right, create space on the left, and there's an absolute rip past La Liberty.
For Canada.
Oh, excuse me, that's actually Kara Nugent now. That looks like number 36, Kara Nugent.
And again, we talked about the embarrassment of riches that Northwestern has. Not only do they have La Liberty, they have Nugent as well.
And there are other goalies on the U20 roster, Francesco Argentieri. They just, players everywhere. Must be nice.
It must be nice. That is absolutely true. But of course, all these players just wanting to go play for Kelly Amante Hiller. When you look at her resume, what she's done, 8 national championships that she's won just as a coach, 2 as well as a player.
And she cares just so much, and it seems almost unnecessary to say. You'd hope she cares so much. But speaking to her last year after winning that national championship, she really took the brunt of those off years on herself and felt the pressures to get back to the top. And last year, what a job.
Good clear by Canada, and quickly they find Reese Whiteman, who has had one of the hot hands for the Canadians, has been one of their most effective goal scoring options. But credit Canada, because despite the fact that some things have not gone their way, they are very much in this contest. But it is just the stifling defense. They're so quick to the ball, are the Northwestern Wildcats.
It's been a very good second quarter for Canada. They've had a lot of possession, but now they have to make this stop and turn around and try to cut this to 1.
Hannah Johnson, some good communication out there, just signaling to her team in terms of what she was looking for. Sam Smith changes direction. Smith on the shot. It's a good take. Battle for possession. And it looks like it will stay with Northwestern. So it will be Hannah Johnson once more, who's really directing, it feels like, a lot of what's going on with the offense. And no call there. And we will head the other way, but
there it is on that ride.
That's right. Immediately the check, knocking the ball loose. Canada will hang on to it. Taylor Santos, again, looking to get that full head of steam, working around defenders. She is unbelievably good in transition.
It's not that Taylor Santos isn't looking for her teammates, but when she has the ball in her cross and she's close to the cage, let her rip it. I mean, that was just a great, again, a one-woman job. I love that.
Oh, my goodness, Taylor Santos.
And the slide even came pretty well there at the end. She just had so much steam in front of her that she let it rip.
She has been one to watch, and I think really giving the crowd some things to cheer about in terms of the great individual effort. She makes a decision, and she just goes straight to goal. It has been a big first half as well for Taylor Santos.
It's impressive to see a player at this stage have so much confidence in herself to know, I'm good with the ball in my cross. I can go take this.
Serafina Demuno back in the draw control circle with Beth Anderson.
Huge second quarter so far for Canada, and then a draw win. They could tie it up here.
Beth Anderson figuring some things out there in the circle. I think she's doing a better job of controlling the direction of the ball, using her technique to get more of an advantage on the draws. And so really credit to her for just doing some good problem solving in the first half of this contest.
It is no small task to go up against someone like Sam Smith and this draw team, and then to earn possession and score a goal on the other end. So great job by the Canadian team on making some changes.
And they're pressuring Anderson right now, and I think a little miscommunication there, but Canada able to hang on to possession. Looking to go to goal, and they do convert. Tegan Ing for Canada.
It's the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year right there from Arizona State. Another lefty rip. Canada's working that left-handed shot to precision. She shot 75% on goal last year. When she gets a look, pretty good chance she's burying it.
30 goals, 6 assists in her freshman campaign, playing with so much confidence. And I think Canada, right now, their strategy is just if you get an opening to take the shot, and they're having some players step up offensively to convert.
Now, what I'd like to see next from Kara Nugent in goal for Northwestern is the last handful of shots for Canada have been up in that upper half of the zone. See if she adjusts, maybe cheats a little bit high, and then let Canada make the adjustment on the other end.
Another draw control win for Canada now that they have tied things up.
Dacia Cordingley.
So Dacia Cordingley with the draw control win. And Canada with an opportunity here to take a goal lead, but they lose the ball once again. Elise Fawcett has done very well, just reacting quickly.
A high school junior, by the way, reacting that quickly.
So she's going to be one to watch as she just continues to grow and mature in the game of lacrosse. Another good look to goal. I like how aggressive Canada's being in their offensive set, just looking to go to goal with every opportunity, and then Northwestern not able to connect on that pass. It's scooped up by Canada.
It's a huge turnover with a minute left.
Jillian Goldie there for Canada. Under a minute remaining in our first half. It's been a fun one to watch between these two teams, and I think the thing that's been the most fun to see is the problem solving out on the field, the adjustments that have been made, how the teams are figuring each other out a little bit and making the needed adjustments.
And for Canada, a young training team gearing up for next year's World Championship, still early in their process. Great for them to figure out stuff like this on the fly and see who can step up in big moments.
And once again, looking to break free.
Oh, almost a highlight there.
Alex Law, we saw a goal from her earlier. She certainly has that skill set, but Northwestern 20 seconds remaining in our first half. And now the clock will restart with Carly Keating bringing the ball up the field, but this is fantastic defense.
Great pressure
by Fawcett, just letting the seconds expire off the clock. And Northwestern having to push things there at the end, but we are all tied up at the end of the first half. Northwestern 6, Canada 6. We're going to take a quick break. We will be right back to Tierney Field at U.S. Lacrosse headquarters.
Every player knows the skills you learn on the field can be the foundation for anything you choose to do in life.
Thank you for connecting me to a greater community.
We're growing beyond goals on the field.
And our futures are united.
So thank you, Lacrosse.
For inspiring me to be me.
We are better,
safer,
and wiser together.
And we're building a stronger future
for everyone.
We're thrilled to have MedStar as our partner.
You know, MedStar is the biggest provider of sports medicine services in the Mid-Atlantic. We're fortunate we cover the Ravens, the Orioles, the Wizards, the Capitals, 15 colleges and universities. One of the biggest flags I think this organization can fly is being very proactive about health and safety as compared to just about any sporting organization I've worked with over my 30-year career.
It is halftime here at the 2023 Fall Classic, all tied up, 6 apiece for the Canada U20 team and Northwestern. We're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back to Tierney Field.
Need some help, folks. Let's call out some answers.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels.
I used to go missing all the time. I let everyone down. I even let Shannon Sharp down.
Yeah, you let me down. They've been told how you feel yourself doesn't matter. That electrolytes are all the same. Then just like that, they're gone. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade. Could be the difference between dominating and disappearing. Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
Every player knows the skills you learn on the field can be the foundation for anything you choose to do in life.
Thank you for connecting me to a greater community.
We're growing beyond goals on the field.
And our futures are united.
So thank you, Lacrosse.
For inspiring me to be me.
We are better,
Safer.
And wiser together.
And we're building a stronger future
For everyone.
We're thrilled to have MedStar as our partner.
You know, MedStar is the biggest provider of sports medicine services in the Mid-Atlantic. We're fortunate we cover the Ravens, the Orioles, the Wizards, the Capitals, 15 colleges and universities. One of the biggest flags I think this organization can fly is being very proactive about health and safety as compared to just about any sporting organization I've worked with over my 30-year career.
What a fun first half of lacrosse we had on our hands, Kenny. The first quarter, I thought Northwestern controlled a little bit. They looked a little more crisp, but what a second quarter by Canada. They really sorted some things out.
Canada did a remarkable job in that second quarter, figuring things out. A little slow, a little sloppy in that first quarter, struggled on the draw. But once they started earning some possessions and capitalizing on the other end, you saw what happened. It's a totally different ballgame now.
And I think they saw how they could break down the Northwestern defense just a little bit, being very assertive, going straight to goal. And Torkoff and Anderson, I thought, in the draw control circle, did a great job helping get Canada some of those extra possessions. Let's go ahead and take a look at our first half highlights. There were quite a few to see. Northwestern capitalizing on their great passing. Hannah Johnson was fantastic in the first half.
Hannah Johnson making up for some lost time. Love to see her again in the second half.
But so was Emerson Bowleg. She was a large part of what the offensive attack was doing for Northwestern. They just have so many weapons. You see a lot of early goals. Northwestern really dictating, but Canada would not stay quiet for long. Taylor Santos, some great individual efforts in transition. She was almost unstoppable.
The speed out of this world. There's Hannah Johnson again. Look at her going left. Great shot.
Showing some great power there. A lot in the skill set for Hannah Johnson. Great work from behind the goal and a very quick finish for the Wildcats. That was Claire Snyder. And once again, you see for Canada, just going straight to goal. Alex Law, that was the strategy that was working.
I love the little hockey attempt there. Just denied, but then it's coming up the other end, and this transition was just so hard to stop. It's Northwestern's bread and butter, bowling up the field.
She was so great in transition. Check out this pass. Then you get the finish from Johnson, but what about the execution by Monroe?
Just a flick of the wrist from Johnson there. Plenty of time and space.
And that was Reese Whiteman. who had a couple of very good moments for Canada in the first half, and Taylor Santos would not be denied right there, going straight to goal.
If I'm Northwestern, I am picking up Taylor Santos the second she crosses the midline in the next half.
And there's Tegan Eng for her goal in the first half. So lots of different players getting involved in the offense. We're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back with second half action.
Every player knows the skills you learn on the field can be the foundation for anything you choose to do in life.
Thank you for connecting me to a greater community.
We're growing beyond goals on the field.
And our futures are united.
So thank you, Lacrosse,
For inspiring me to be me.
We are better,
safer,
And wiser together.
and we're building a stronger future
For everyone.
Welcome back to Tierney Field as we prepare for the start of our second half. And Kenny, looking at the first half statistics, I know the biggest one that jumps off the page to you are the draw control numbers.
Canada's giving Northwestern a taste of their own medicine. Winning draws, causing some chaos in the middle of the field. Northwestern 7 of 9 on clears. Hardly cause for concern, but Canada's perfect. And then you look at turnovers. Northwestern is turning the ball over more than Canada. Canada is doing exactly what Northwestern likes to do to other teams. So it'll be interesting to see which trend continues in the second half.
Yeah, really credit to Canada, because after Northwestern had the big advantage in the first quarter, 5-2 with the draw controls, Canada won almost every single draw control in the second quarter. It was a 6-1 advantage. That is a tale of two quarters right there in terms of Canada solving some problems, really figuring things out. And so it's going to be very interesting to see here in the second half which team gets that edge in the circle.
And what you love to see, 6-1 draw advantage, they turned that into a shot advantage. 10-3 advantage on shots. That explains how they made up the deficit so quickly. Efficient shooting, 6 of 14, I believe Canada was. Let me double check. Yeah, 6 of 14. Good shooting. So they're right in this game. It's tied at 6. It's basically 0-0 with 30 minutes to play.
They were able to clean things up a little bit in their offensive end with the turnovers. 3 turnovers in the second quarter, but they were more efficient offensively. That led to a couple of quick goals. The standouts, as we already talked about, first of all, Reese Whiteman doing a great job early on, helping to set the tone, and Taylor Santos, both of those two players with 2 goals for Canada so far. And of course, the big player from Northwestern, we talked a lot about her, number 9, Hannah Johnson, 3 goals so far in this competition. She really was one to watch, also had an assist.
And if I could just interject here, everyone get their highlight reel devices ready. I don't even know what that means, but Izzy Skane and Erin Kuykendall are on the field. So everyone get ready for a little Tewaaraton magic in the second half.
And certainly a lot of the fans here, the young fans, I think very much wanting to see Izzy Skane play, coming off the season that she had. Don't forget the fact that she had a 10-goal performance last year. That is just absolutely exceptional. That was against Notre Dame. But you see Beth Anderson trying to pick up right where she left off at the end of the first half, but Northwestern will win the opening draw control. Carly Mahoney doing a good job winning possession, and very quickly they find Kuykendall. And she will draw the foul.
Erin and Izzy Skane work so well together. They know where each other is on the field at all times. There's no selfish play. They're fine with whoever has the better shot taking the shot. Just so happened to be a lot of Izzy last year, but they work so well together.
And that's how you have to be if you want to play at an elite level, particularly understanding that different defenses are going to do different things. They're going to play you differently. And so you have to be able to accept whatever role you need to have on a certain possession. And here, making the smart decision, handing off, creating a shot for Dylan Amante.
Dylan Amante was so clutch at times in 2023. Really came into her own as a player, as a big-time player, not just a role player. I'm interested to see what next step she takes this year.
Lucy Monroe with possession, gets the screen, and she will hand off. But Izzy Skane, she's number 27 for Northwestern, and a whistle and a free position opportunity coming up for Sam Smith.
Sam Smith is doing more than just taking the draw, as you see here, generating some offense. She really, when you talk about do it all midi, that's Sam Smith. And there she goes.
As if on cue, and you are exactly right, because we talked about these staggering draw control numbers last year for Sam Smith, but she also had 17 goals, 7 assists, 13 ground balls, 8 calls turnovers. She really does everything you need for her to do, and this is a great shot selection by Smith.
It's no surprise that when you say Sam Smith anywhere in the vicinity of Kelly Amante Hiller, her eyes light up. She loves coaching Sam Smith, and look at all the things she does.
She really does. Just an all-around complete player. So it will be Torkoff back in the draw control circle with DeMuno. Northwestern winning the opening draw of our second half. That ball going straight up, and a great draw control win there for DeMuno.
Control by Serafina DeMuno.
But Northwestern not able to hang on to possession, and it's Torkoff that actually comes up with it.
Canada defense has been pesky. I think that's the best way to describe it. Maybe not the most sound just yet, but they get their sticks in the way and they make things happen.
Worth mentioning that there's been a goalkeeper change for Canada. Back in goal is Katie Ling from Niagara University.
Casually made over 500 saves in high school. 500.
Quite a staggering number when you think about it. And in her rookie season at Niagara, 66 saves.
About 45% there. Started 8 times. Building confidence with every game.
And now Canada with an opportunity to try to equalize once again. Good defensive pressure, fantastic check. Northwestern, they're just so pesky defensively. They're constantly working, constantly trying to cause those turnovers. Coy Kendall, straight to goal, looking to create.
That was Kendall Halpern there, who did everything there on defensive end. I was actually covered her in high school in a lot of sports, and she's good at every single sport that she plays, steps foot on the field with. She's just an incredible athlete.
And there certainly are those players that no matter what it is, both because they have that athleticism, they have that game IQ, and frankly, they just have that competitiveness in them that they're going to excel no matter what they're doing. And a big goal there for Izzy Skane.
Izzy Skane has entered the chat. She is here.
And we didn't think it was going to take long before she made herself known out on the field, and you see it right there. She's just so confident, so composed with everything she does, changes direction, and buries the shot.
She lost her defender there. Great job by Canada of denying her the ball, but once Izzy does get the ball, she's going to do just about whatever she wants.
So back in the draw control circle, Torkoff for Canada. And actually not sure if that is DeMuno. We will see. And it is actually Taylor Lapointe for Northwestern. And the Wildcats solving some things, at least early on in the draw control circle in the second half.
And this third quarter is pivotal for Canada. Last night, this is where the game got out of hand against the U.S. I believe it was 7-6 at halftime, and then they ended up losing that contest. Again, mostly different players on the field today. There's a little bit of carryover, but still, third quarter, very important.
difficult catch by Taylor Lapointe, but did not get the shot that she wanted on the possession, but Northwestern will hang on to it. Coy Kendall drawing the defense. She commands so much attention out on the field. And now Lapointe trying to get a step on her defender.
Coy Kendall, you want her to dodge, she'll dodge. You want her to feed from X, she'll feed from X. She can play up top at the wing. She can do just about anything an offensive player needs to do.
Skane did not quite have the angle on that shot, but it is backed up by Dylan Amante. And now Amante trying to draw the defense. Good catch. Coy Kendall looking for her shot. It was cut off, finds it again. Sometimes she just looks unstoppable.
Young lacrosse players should watch everything she just did there. She took her time. Her hands were always out and active. You have a little extra time with no defense in the way. Fake high, go low, just textbook play.
And I think what is so impressive about her, you look at the numbers from last season. Yes, the goal number is staggering, 58 goals. She had almost as many assists, 50 assists as well on the season. She can just do everything. She's unselfish. She knows what the moment requires, and she is able to get it done.
She took on such a large role when Izzy Skane was injured the year before, and I think that helped her evolve into the player we see today, who can now work so well with Izzy Skane and all these other great talents. She's just stepped up in such a big way.
Sam Smith controlled that, really start to finish on that draw control. And Northwestern right now, because they're winning the possessions, because they have been so successful with the draw controls for the entirety of the second half so far, they're just putting together a big run, and Canada can't find the answers.
Great job by Carly Mahoney there, playing in transition to get that ball cleared. Didn't have to do it herself. She's a defender, not necessarily always going to see some time on the offensive end, but a great job by her there.
Northwestern looking to draw the defense to go to goal. And we're going to get a shooting space call and a free position opportunity for Lucy Monroe.
I'm looking to see who's cutting off this. It looks like Jane Hansen right here, closest to us, has an opening.
Skane, great ball movement. Coy Kendall behind the back, connection with Izzy Skane.
It's always nice when the players you hype up coming onto the field in the second half do exactly what you hope them to do. The highlights are coming. BTB to a finish. They do that every day. That's nothing new to them.
But it is still so pretty when you see it in the replay. Look at that behind the back pass. Izzy Skane able to finish. Those two players, they are ones to watch. They never disappoint.
That's just a little tip of the cap to each other. Thank you for the great pass. Thank you for finishing my feed. Like I said, they do this every day in practice. It's not unheard of to see them do it in games. They're just the best duo potentially in college lacrosse.
And Allison Daly is going to have to call a timeout here as we get another look. Kenny, this never gets old.
I love Coy Kendall drawing the defender in, staring her basically between the eyes, and then seeing Izzy just streak through the middle. What a feed. Had to stretch a little bit for it, but not a big deal. She's falling towards the crease. She buries that every time.
She's just that good. Certainly no surprise in terms of why she was selected as the Tewaaraton winner. You look at the numbers, they certainly speak for themselves, but she has just done this throughout her career. And yes, she's had that adversity. She's battled injury. She's had to come back from it. And it seems like it's just made her better in terms of her ability, because sometimes when players have those injuries, they spend that time really watching, learning about the game. And when they come back, they're just even better.
I was impressed by two things with Izzy last year, among a million others, but she did not start off slowly coming back. She looked like herself from the day she stepped back on the field. And then during championship weekend, when she was on the sideline with that ACL injury, she watched her team in that devastating comeback win from North Carolina. She was on a mission championship weekend, on the ride, scoring goals, doing anything possible to make sure her side would win a national championship. That's exactly what they did.
Just speaks volumes about her character and who she is as a person. So you get a good look there at Vienna Twomey for Team Canada. As we are almost back underway, so we'll see what Canada is going to try to do here on this draw control. So it will be DeMuno in the draw control circle again with Beth Anderson.
This is a much-needed draw win for Canada here. At the very least, make Northwestern work to get this ball. It cannot be as fluid and as easy as it has been for the last few minutes.
That's absolutely right. They just have to stop the bleeding, so to speak. And you see there, I think Anderson was trying to pull that ball backwards so that Canada could win it, and they do. So Twomey did very well there to come up with that, but we're going to get a yellow card. And that's going to go against Northwestern's Mary Schumer.
Yellow card issued to Mary Schumer.
She's going to be a big-time impact player for Northwestern this year, which is funny to say because they have impact players all over the field. But what a phenomenal season at Marquette, seemingly out of nowhere, decides to come join Northwestern for one last grad year.
She is amazing in her ability to facilitate and pass the ball. Schumer, as you said, had an outstanding career at Northwestern. Career leader in assists while ranking 5th in points, and she has certainly got a lot more to say in her lacrosse career.
When you can add the nation's assist leader from a year before to an offense that already has plenty of feeders and finishers, I don't know what opposing teams are going to do to game plan against them.
It is just a wealth of options. That shot might have been deflected as it makes its way to Kara Nugent back in goal for Northwestern.
Kara Nugent didn't play a lot last year, just under 30 minutes of time. Saved 64% of her shots. Future goalie maybe, I don't know, but she looks good so far.
Bolig, again, bringing the ball up the field. She's done very well on the clears, just her ability to be so quick and decisive. And as if on cue, Emerson Bolig with the goal.
The head fake. I think that's what sold it there. Of course, she dodged and she had that space on the right side, but right towards the end, you'll see it here on the replay. Watch her here. She meets her defender, dodges a little bit to the right. There she goes. Patience. Look at the little head fake there. Tiny little head fake, brought her eyes up, and shoots low. Great job.
Good decision-making for Emerson Bolig again. 5 goals, 8 assists last year, but you certainly see where you think this is going this coming spring for Emerson Bolig as her skill set just gets better and better and better.
Just add another weapon in the midfield and transition to this Northwestern team, and 11-6, not out of hand yet, but it is trending in a direction where Canada would really need to stop this pretty soon.
And again, a lot of it has come from the draw control wins early on in this third quarter. I think that's the biggest problem that Northwestern solved as its low point. Back in the draw control circle for the Wildcats. And quickly to the ball is Cumberland. But Canada coming up with it. That's a big moment for Canada. And once again, they're trying to make something happen in transition in an unsettled moment before Northwestern's defense could set up, but they're having a little trouble hanging on to the ball. It's Dacia Accordingly coming up with it.
If I'm Canada right now, I would just pull the ball out for a second, take a breath, settle the set down, and really work good offense. Get the shot you want. There's no reason to take a quick shot and have Northwestern come the other way.
Canada has had some success going down the middle, going straight to goal. That is exactly what they do. Dacia Accordingly. She's big on that play, start to finish.
There's some lacrosse in her blood, too. I think she knows what she's doing when the ball gets in her cross. She's at UMass. She's going to have a bright future ahead of her.
Absolutely.
Or she will be at UMass, excuse me.
Absolutely, and you see it right there. Good shot selection. And that's exactly what Canada needed, just in terms of a big momentum play as this third quarter starts to wind down. But yeah, I think a lot of people expecting big things out of Dacia Accordingly.
That's exactly what Canada needed. They eventually found a way to get possession, settled it down, took a breath, got their dodge from the top, and did what they've been doing. They've been great today, no matter what the score is, of getting into the middle and making things happen.
Sam Smith had initially controlled that just with the power in her wrist. Hitting the ground hard was Carly Mahoney, but she looks to be okay.
Yellow card
and the yellow card is now going to go to Dacia Accordingly. So a player-up situation here for the Wildcats. As things stretched out a bit for Northwestern.
Northwestern's already so good at creating space on their own, and now by taking away a defender, great job by Canada.
Well, that's a big moment, particularly when there's no shot clock. If Canada can just get this ball into their offensive third, that's easier said than done.
There was Koikendo there on the ride trying to make it happen. Little bit of contact, but stays with Canada.
Alex Law did very well, but then from behind the restraining line, the opportunistic Izzy Skane. Kenny, that's what you've been talking about.
I just like to reiterate the fact that it's fall ball, and Izzy Skane is playing like it's championship weekend. That's Izzy Skane for you in a nutshell.
I would expect no less from the Tewaaraton winner, who's a little slow to get to her feet, but appears to be okay.
Interception there.
And a nice play by Koikendo.
Can someone tell them it's October? They're not supposed to be in midseason form yet.
I think they only have one speed, and it's very fast.
She's just such a heady player. Knew exactly what was going on, knew she had time, and again, the fakes, draw the goalie's eyes up, no defenders around her. Just an easy goal.
She's just outstanding in terms of her execution, her understanding of the game, and frankly, just the effort that she gives you. As you were just talking about, this is fall ball, but you're seeing these players play at such a high level, and what happens is you elevate everyone else on your team to that level. It's going to be really fun to watch this Wildcats team this season.
And I'm not insinuating that Erin Kuykendall, Izzy Skane, these established players should be taking these games off, but the fall ball is time for these younger, newer players to establish themselves and prove themselves, and they're setting the tone. You want to earn a spot on this team, you're going to have to give the same effort we're giving.
So it has been a big third quarter for the Wildcats. Let's take a look at what we've seen. Sam Smith, by the way, we always expect big things from her, but she's been fantastic on the day so far. It's just been a lot of offense, and this was what the fans were waiting to see.
There's the Skane train. Can't stop her.
She is absolutely unbelievable. Kuykendall drawing the defense, working her way inside, taking some players 1v1.
Her feet are always moving. Watch her feet. She is never flat-footed.
But that's the play, I think. That is the highlight reel. It is everything. Kuykendall to Izzy Skane. We've been so impressed, though, with Emerson Bolig and what she's been able to do. She has such speed and quickness, particularly on the clears, and she's a great goal scorer.
The patience there, and again, that head fake, just knowing it would draw the goalie's attention. Just an excellent high IQ lacrosse play.
And Kuykendall to end our series of Northwestern goals there. She was involved in so many of them. You just see the entire skill set, what she can do out on the lacrosse field. Sam Smith again, she really just likes to pull that ball over into the open space. She trusts that her teammates on the circle can get there.
Controlled by Carly Mahoney.
Again, her technique, it is really something to see. As Mahoney will get the draw control win.
Shout out to the fans, by the way, who have weathered the weather, starting to make their way back out from under the tents. Looks like the rain is at a point that they can manage. Great day of lacrosse ahead of them.
Absolutely. There's so much talent here this weekend at U.S. Lacrosse headquarters, really getting to see a lot of the future of the game. Players that we're going to be talking about for years to come in the college game, at the national levels for their respective teams. And you just see how the game continues to progress and be elevated by the new stars that come along. And my favorite thing about this event is seeing all the young players in the stands watching, these players that they idolize, that they try to emulate, that help them push their game to another level. Kuykendall, nice pass to Smith, who bided her time.
Great defense there.
That was Emma Torkoff. Very patient defensively, waiting for the right moment. Elia Royer on the clear for Canada.
Torkoff is an imposing presence. She's been very strong on the draw. She's 5'10", plays defense, has experience at Albany, which had probably the upset win of the NCAA tournament last May. Big game for her.
Ball knocked loose, good defensive pressure again. Halpern for Northwestern, who chucks the ball up the field, realizing there wasn't a lot of time. Good awareness, at least, of how much time was remaining in our third quarter, but it was a big one for Northwestern. getting Izzy Skane out on the field, Kuykendall on the field, you really see what the future holds for the Wildcats. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back to Tierney Field.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you our future. Our future. Our future. Our future.
Please hold the applause.
The fourth quarter is almost underway. The Canada U20 team versus Northwestern. Back in goal for Canada, Sophia Severino.
Sophia Severino.
And back in the draw control circle, you see Emma Torkoff, who we talked so much about, alongside Serafina DeMuno. Draw control is huge for Northwestern during the third quarter. So again, it's been a back and forth situation in the circle for these two teams. We'll see if Canada able to sort things out once again to get a few more possessions here in the fourth.
Severino by herself can make a big impact on this game in the goal. Lefty goalie, everything you want in a starting goalie, according to her recruiting profile. So has the potential here to make a big impact, hopefully stop the Northwestern run, get Canada right back in this game.
So we're going to redraw here with Torkoff and DeMuno. The official taking some time to line up the draw.
The intricacies of setting up the draw,
which can be a lot more difficult than you would actually expect. It can take some time just to get it exactly right. Lucy Monroe there for Northwestern. And now the Wildcats, once again, looking to assert themselves offensively. It was a big third quarter. We saw some of the highlight reel for Northwestern, but lots of different players stepping up. We talked a lot about Kuykendall. We talked a lot about Izzy Skane. But the balance and the diversity on the offense for Northwestern, they just have so many different players who can step up in big moments.
You know, as the opposition, the player or two that you really need to focus on. But then it's their other four offensive players who decide to do something.
And that's Lucy Monroe for the Wildcats, who's had some really good moments today as well. 2 goals and an assist last year.
Northwestern free position goal scored by number 33, Lucy Monroe.
And you see off the free position. So we've talked about this in terms of the strategy. That time she thought she had a good angle to go straight to goal, past the defenders. And good execution there by Lucy Monroe.
Stayed controlled for that entire process. Did not force it, did not get ahead of herself. She waited until she had the perfect angle and she took it.
LaPointe back in the circle for Northwestern, along with Torkoff. A really nice job there by LaPointe, directing the ball over where Claire Snyder was waiting.
Claire Snyder.
Claire Snyder shot like a rocket off that draw circle. I don't know if it was planned to go that direction because it felt like it. She just knew where the ball was going.
That's right. Sometimes you have that chemistry with the players on that draw control unit. You know exactly what their tendencies are. You can tell from their body language where they're going to try to direct the ball. And they make it look easy at times as that shot is backed up by the Wildcats.
Hannah Johnson again taking some rips, making up for lost time after not playing last season.
So Northwestern, we've really seen a lot of the players on their roster in this opening game. We're going to see them again against Team USA's U20 team coming up next. Great move to goal. Oh my goodness, another great individual effort by Cumberland. So Noelle Cumberland, take a look here. Just great skill. The other defender comes over to help. She works past both of them.
5'11", can keep that stick so high and out of the way and out of trouble. Just another casual 4-star recruit for Northwestern.
The talent just keeps on adding up for Northwestern. They have so many athletes who can make a difference, and now it will be DeMuno back in the circle.
A local game for Cumberland as well. She's from nearby Falston, Maryland, so I'm sure she has some family and friends here today.
And we heard over the PA that some of the Falston lacrosse program are in attendance today, and that's one of the things we've been talking a lot about with this event is it gives an opportunity for a lot of the local youth lacrosse programs to come out and see the game at this high of a level. It's really inspiring, I think, for the young kids to see at Northwestern right now. And actually,
a little confusion here. Good, no good.
Yeah, we're going to get
a dangerous follow-through, maybe?
Correct. A yellow card for the dangerous follow-through, so that goal is not going to count. And we will see. So that's the call right there.
A little over the top there.
In terms of the dangerous follow-through, so I think the right call there by the official is the rain just continuing to pour down.
Thankful for this tent that we're sitting in today.
So this will give Canada an opportunity, a player-up situation for the Canadians, which when you think about the way that Northwestern plays defense, sometimes it doesn't feel like you have a player up.
What a clear.
And that is, as you said, a long clearing ball. And we'll see what Northwestern does here since they are a player down.
Can't get lazy when you're passing from behind the cage, especially with a goalie who's as heady and smart as Claire Nugent is.
And so now we're going to get a card against Canada's Vienna Twomey.
Excuse me, Karen Nugent. Karen Nugent.
So right now, both teams with a player down. Evens things up a bit. Great defensive pressure, but we're going to get a foul. Jillian Goldie, we were impressed with her yesterday. Squaring off against the USA U20 team. Good look inside, good patience. Just couldn't quite get the shot that she wanted for LaPointe.
I'll say I've been very impressed by Hannah Johnson so far today. She set the pick right there to generate a little space. She's like the Energizer Bunny. She's always hopping around. She's quick off the ball, that explosive plant and dodge. I mean, if she's healthy and this is just another player in the arsenal, excited to see what she turns into in 2024.
Well, we talked about the communication earlier in terms of her directing teammates, kind of keeping everything moving, particularly during the first half of the contest. It's a great catch. Speaking of Hannah Johnson, as she is fouled, she's just been so active. A playmaker.
This little no-look feed there.
Right into traffic. But Hannah Johnson just continuing to be dangerous wherever she is on the field, going straight to goal.
There you go. Little lefty shot. Didn't even drive in too far. She was comfortable with the angle that she got from, I don't know, 6-ish meters out. And just actually from beyond the 8 even. That was a great shot.
She's just done that all day long. The consistency that we have seen out of Hannah Johnson.
For Hannah Johnson, her third goal of the morning.
Placement just very, very strong.
But unfortunate for both of these two teams as the rain is just starting to pour. because Northwestern, we're going to see them again coming up very soon. So they're going to be out in this rain.
They'll have a little time to warm up in the tunnel. Next game doesn't start for just a little bit of time, so they'll have some time to get some hot chocolate and feel good for the next one.
And certainly hoping that the weather does settle down just a little bit, particularly for the fans who are in attendance, really braving the weather today because they're so excited to see these young stars competing. Once again, Demuno did a good job pushing the ball forward, but Canada's Beth Anderson so quick to the ball and then keeping her composure to hang on to possession. That's a big draw control win for Beth Anderson.
What Canada can do here in these final 8 or so minutes is at least go out with a little bit of a bang, right? The second halves this weekend have not been their friend. Even if this game ends up going Northwestern's way, which it does look like it will, they can at least come out of it with a little bit of confidence saying, look what we did against the defending national champions. We have the right players here to do something special next summer.
I think just the experience, too. You certainly learn a lot about the players. You learn a lot about what you're looking to do with the future. But these players just continuing to elevate their game. They're going to take a lot away from it no matter what happens. But there certainly is time left. With the running clock, it can make it more difficult. And that's, once again, just good defensive pressure swarming by Villanova.
And what we talked about a lot even early on in this game, too, was it's not as if we're seeing mental errors. We're seeing the correct decisions being made. It's just the execution that they have to fine-tune. And that just comes with reps.
I think that's exactly right, as Johnson once again helps get the ball up the field for Northwestern. Leah Holmes back in the contest for the Wildcats. She is hounded defensively by Dondrade. But Northwestern still with possession. Misconnection there as they're looking for Rachel Wiener. And Taya Keast will come up with it for Canada.
Canada's got some speed on this roster. A lot of one-woman clears, a lot of, crashing into the cage or into the crease. There's a lot of potential here.
But none other than Hannah Johnson, who is there for Northwestern.
Just give her the player of the game. I don't know if that's a thing we give out here, but she's earned it in my opinion.
I completely agree with you. On a field of standouts, it seems like she stood out just a little bit more. And she has been very fun to watch. That's a great individual attempt there, though, by Cumberland, who has really infused a lot of energy into this fourth quarter.
Looks like Severino was looking for a crease call there. I guess we can see it on this replay here. No call by the officials. It was certainly close, but a great individual effort nonetheless.
For Northwestern's number 30, Noel Cumberland.
Here she comes.
Let's see.
Yeah, that foot might have been a little close, but
it looked like
it was not a clear-cut call.
Correct. So Cumberland with her second of the afternoon. Beth Anderson will be back in the draw control circle with Demuno.
Five minutes left in this game now. Look for Canada to really establish an offense. These last 5 minutes are key for confidence, like we've just been talking about. Run a play, get a nice shot, get a goal.
Great individual win there by Demuno. And she is hounded and still able.
Ball's controlled by Taylor LaPointe.
Like the whistle's going to bring this ball back a ways. And never mind, fast restart.
Which is what we've come to expect for Northwestern. They're so fast in everything they do. We've talked about the aggressive mindset in terms of the defense. We saw how on offense they waste very little time. They're constantly looking to head to goal. With a lot of women's lacrosse teams, you see them work the ball around a lot. They stretch out the defense. They test the waters. Northwestern is just looking to go, go, go at a very intense speed.
And the difference between a high-level team such as Northwestern and maybe another team in Division I that's finding its footing is that the thinking is happening simultaneously with the passes being made. It's not catch, think, pass. It's just all happening at once. They're just so well coached and their IQs are so high. Of course, the physical talent. It's just so fun watching them play.
Falsett coming up with it again. She's had some good moments on the afternoon in terms of being opportunistic, really battling to help get possession, to keep possession. Reese Whiteman back on the field for Canada. She was one of the early standouts in this one for the Canadians. And also very impressed with Taylor Santos. We talked a lot about her in the first half. She's one, I think, to watch in terms of her skill set. Ball knocked loose, good defensive pressure once again, and then the smart decision just to get the ball in the crease to the goalkeeper.
You have to think the rain is starting to become a tad bit annoying at this point, right? It just looks like the opportunities are there, but the ball is just kind of flopping around.
Well, it's rainy, it's windy, it's a little cold. It's not the best conditions, but these players certainly have come to play. And for, again, these brave fans in attendance, they, I think, have really been in for a fantastic first game of the day of the 4 that we have here at Tierney Field.
For all of you watching at home, I hope the coffee's warm.
Northwestern trying to hang on to possession, but it will go to Canada. So just over 2 minutes remaining. Remember, it was close at halftime. It was tied up. It was a big third quarter by Northwestern where they solved some problems. We saw the introduction of Izzy Skane into the weekend along with Erin Kuykendall.
It's actually kind of funny. It's like Izzy Skane and Erin Kuykendall were the reinforcements. Came in the third quarter, built a little lead, and now they're taking a nice seat on the bench.
But we talk so much about those players. It's hard not to in terms of the numbers, just in terms of the way they play the game and the level that they take the game to. But what we've seen from some of these other players, some of the younger players who are really starting to get their moment, when you think about Hannah Johnson, Lucy Monroe, who we've really enjoyed watching, Carly Mahoney, who she was a big factor last year, certainly expecting that to be the same. We've seen all the different goalkeepers, the options in the draw control circle. This is just a complete team. They were great last year, but they're going to really, as you can tell, try to make another big run at it this year.
And it sounds funny to say, but it takes a fair bit of sacrifice, individual sacrifice, to play on a team this deep and talented. Of course, Izzy and Erin, they're going to get theirs. But you're a player who could possibly score 50 goals at another school somewhere else, but you're fine playing an important role here, a pivotal role, but maybe not a featured option. And they're okay with that because look what it gets them. It gets them national championships.
It does, and just the learning in terms of how there's the expression, right, that iron sharpens iron, and you get that competing at this level every single day. So you see there, Canada in their huddle. Northwestern already back out on the field with just over 2 minutes remaining.
This is a very good timeout by Coach Allison Daly here. Of course, you're not playing for a win with just about 2 minutes left. Like we've been talking about, you're playing to go out with a bang, establish some confidence, get into a rhythm, and just show what Canada Lacrosse is about.
So both teams now back out on the field. 2 minutes approximately remaining in this first matchup. As we mentioned, after this one, we're going to take a quick break, and then we will right back. We will be right back. We will have more Northwestern. We will have Team USA.
What a fun game that's going to be.
Really, I think a lot of people excited about that one. Team USA looked very strong last night, but of course we're going to see different players today. We're seeing a lot of the roster, split rosters, not the same unit that we saw yesterday, but certainly no drop off in talent.
And there's always the fun narrative of Kelly Amante Hiller coaching the U20 women against her college team. She knows them better than anybody. She'll be able to scheme against them if she wants to.
Good opening there, but Nugent really showing that great skill set in a bit of a dangerous moment there, because Northwestern trying to get the ball in the crease, but right on the doorstep was Reese Whiteman, who has been very opportunistic on the day.
That's just Nugent not being afraid of feeling a little sting in this cold weather, putting her body in front of the ball, making a stop. Goalies are built different. I'm not built that same way, but goalies are something special.
They really do. There's something special about them in terms of what they're willing to do out on a lacrosse field, as we have 1 minute remaining in this opener of the day, which has been so much fun to see. Just the great individual talent, the great teamwork, Northwestern showing a little patience here, looking for the right pass and good on-the-ball defense for Canada. But we're finally going to get a whistle.
Looked like a high check
there. Lexi Jenkins. So Lexi Jenkins is going to get the yellow card, and it will be another player up situation for Northwestern as we get another look here.
Yellow card issued to Alexis Jenkins.
There's Hannah Johnson making things happen. Yeah, check right to under that shin area there, but pops right back up. She's tough.
So once again, Hannah Johnson looking to make something happen in the waning seconds here of our first game. Taylor Santos, she's feeling it. Once again, we have seen the extreme speed of Taylor Santos.
And you know what she's thinking when she's got a full head of steam like that.
Absolutely. Everyone here at Tierney Field knew she was going straight to goal.
And it's exciting to watch.
Whiteman will hand off. Great cut off the crossbar. That was a good opportunity
that was
for Dacia accordingly.
Great final look for Canada. Even if it didn't go, excellent execution. Maybe it falls next time.
And certainly it reminds us of what we saw all day long from Taylor Santos. Again, we mentioned it earlier, but I think she is one to watch in the future. She's so exciting. She is so dynamic. But right now, a little celebration for Northwestern. Let's take a look. We were tied up at the half, but it was a lot of the Wildcats in the second half.
Sam Smith, she does draws, she scores, she does a little bit of everything. And then Izzy Skane, you just come to expect phenomenal fun plays from her every time she touches the ball.
We knew we weren't going to have to wait long for Izzy Skane to make herself known in this event, and Kuykendall as well. She was phenomenal in the third quarter. Everything that she can do, and this was the one that really got everyone excited, behind the back to Izzy Skane for the finish.
Almost the backbreaker, really, when you look at how this second half unfolded. When that went down, it was a 4-goal lead or something like that. And I mean, that was the game right there. And the patience here from Bowling, the patience of some of these offensive players at Northwestern, knowing they don't have to rush it, just well executed.
It's what you've been talking about, Kenny, in terms of the lacrosse IQ. But Canada certainly had more moments left in them. Dacia accordingly, with her goal, that was the interception by Kuykendall.
Again, the patience there.
She's just so dangerous. You have to know where she is at all times. And Lucy Monroe talked a lot about her today.
High bouncers will go.
It was just a lot of different players, the offensive skill set, and then we started to see a lot from Cumberland.
Cumberland, our friend Hannah Johnson again. A great game for some of the players looking to establish themselves and find larger roles in 2024 for a team that's trying to defend a national title.
Second one here, really tiptoeing around the crease was Cumberland. And that would end it. Good look at LaPointe right there. She did good work in the draw control circle along with DeMuno and Sam Smith. But a great start to what's going to be a great day. We're going to take a quick break. For Kenny Dijon, I'm Monica Moore. You've been watching lacrosse here at U.S. Lacrosse headquarters in the 2023 Fall Classic. We'll be back soon with Game 2 of the day.